Hi everybody, welcome in this new episode of Juno Live. I hope everything goes well for you, and thanks for joining the call. If you have any question, as always, ping in the chat or whenever you feel to. And so today I wanted to go through all the features that were released last week, because it's not really breaking changes per se, but it's kind of like a nice add-ons on the existing tooling, right? Okay, so all the release features that were published here, right? So in one, and so that's basically what I want to do. But we're gonna have a look practically, right? So this way, we are developing that that project here, our Papyrus project, right? And I created where is it? I created a satellite last week, kind of like vessel to showcase what we can do. So right, that's good. So first of all, here it tells me that my satellite is not up to date, which is correct. So that did not change per se, except that there is new. And here the idea is that basically it will search for any changes when that works. If that doesn't work, yes. So you see here, basically I have multiple satellites, and for all my satellites it's gonna tell me if it's up to date or not, and then I can upgrade from here. So we're gonna skip that because I made some experiment last week, and here it tells me what's the version. If I have multiple versions, have the link to go to the version which is not new neither, and then I can upgrade, right? Which I'm gonna do. And once I upgraded, I have now the necessary features to show you what gonna comes next. Alright, so my Wi-Fi is on spot. Alright, so we have a snapshot, it's upgrading, and I think once we have that, we're gonna try to do a deploy. So let me check this, and here we're gonna build my application, right? Ooh, so much warning. It's not finished, right? So we can still have warnings. Alright, so that's something else. If I go to my satellites, I see now I have the version that was released last week. Right, and that's the satellite ID. So I just gonna go to my configuration, and I ensure that in production it's the right one. So okay, good. So I don't remember if I deployed the front end, maybe not, so let's try it. So one thing that is new is, until now, when we were deploying the front end app, it was always directly applying the change. So for example, if it deploys index.html, it was pushing it and it was done. And now there is like a system of batch, let's call it like that. So when it does a deploy, it basically puts all the assets in a queue of changes, and then once everything is up, then it tells the canister to apply it. So if we do a deploy now here, all right, because I got like the pre-deploy, it does a build, and then it starts doing the upgrade. So that since it's the first time I deploy, it will deploy all the assets, starting with the gzip file. After this deploy, I think we will just play, and I will do manually some changes in the HTML. That way we don't have to redeploy everything every time, and that will speed up a bit the experience. Alright, so the gzip. But for example, like as I told you, if I take this particular URL while it's deploying, because it's not yet finished, you see if I plug that here, it's still not accessible because it's still not there. Likewise with this one, which not gonna be there until it's finished. So almost there. It does a batch, I think, of how many files do we upload at the same time? 5, 10, 15, 20 maybe at the same time. All right, almost there. So here I also added like a small summary of what's going on, and here we say there was a change that was submitted, so the change is like the whole package, and that's the hash of the change because it includes all the files and their headers and so on. And then it was applied, and then it was complete. So applied is the act of taking that change and making it live, and then up everything is there. So if we check the file here, no, where was I? Here we see we have it, and if I go to the root, then it's deployed. Okay, great. Now let's do that. In this index page here, I will just manually change whatever. I will just gonna add like a right. So now let's say, I don't know, that we want to deploy directly as it used to be, because I don't know, maybe here there was like 1 million files, and because there is 1 million, then maybe it fails or whatever. So what you can do is use the command Juno deploy -- immediate. And when you do this, once, of course, you have to build no file needs skipped. Yeah, so let me redo that, and here I will just remove the pre-deploy, that way it doesn't build, otherwise my change gets overwritten. So I said immediate. You see there, it directly upload the file, and once it's done, you see here there was no change or whatever, it just directly applied, right? So no, right here we had the thing. So you see it goes straight to it. And another thing is you can do the contrary. Instead of applying it, you can do no apply. So what of course, no, there is no changes, so I will redo here. So if we do no apply, then there will be a change, but the change will not be automatically committed. So basically then I get like a pending change that stays there and that someone needs to trigger. And the reason for that is that maybe you have collaborator, maybe you are using another laptop, maybe you are using your CI, and you don't want to hand over a controller that can write data or that can stop your satellites, but most important, write. So here it's like you can still have the whole pipeline that is built, that is deployed, but there is like that manual aspect of it. Actually, it's manual because you have to go to the console, but technically you can do that with the CLI too. So yeah, let's do it with the CLI first. So here it was not applied yet. So let's say someone else did that. So what I can do now here is Juno changes. That's a new command. And I think I can list the changes that are currently pending. And you see here I have like the ID 3. That's the hash. And if I want, I can apply it. So I can do Juno, just to show you here, we still don't have hello123, we just have hello. So now we can do Juno changes, apply. Let me check the variable. So c'est Juno apply minus ID 3 minus hash this. And here you see it applies the update. So you can have that 2 steps. Okay. And now if I refresh, you see now we have the new text. The keeps tagged, you see here we saw a step where it says deleting tagged. The idea is that if you don't do anything, the file that were in the queue, in the changes, are automatically deleted to save some space, right? But if you really want to keep them for some reason, you can pass that argument minus keep staged. All right. So now let's try to upload this, and this time we do a no apply. But we're not gonna apply it with the CLI, we're gonna apply it in the console because yeah, it's nice with the CLI, but let's do it in the console. And because I like when you have always 2 possibilities. All right, so in the same upgrade doc as we seen before, there is a new tab changes here. And if you go there, you see, you're gonna see like 4, which is this one, the SHA 383, so it's the same, and you can either reject it or delete it. Oh, sorry, reject or approve. By the way, it's the same here. If you go to Juno changes, I did not show you that, but you also have reject, right? If you don't want to apply it. Oh, by the way, we can try here. If I reject it, now we're just gonna see that it doesn't work, right? Yeah, it was rejected, so here we have still 1, 2, 3, so no, I have to apply it again. And right, so once it's applied, right, so 5.9e. So if we go here, I can close this one, and here I have a reload button and I see 5.9e, and here I can apply. I can also, have those options here when I see clear staggered asset, and I can also take a snapshot before applying it in case you want to roll back your front end. By the way, I think they increased the number of snapshots to 10, not just one, so we're gonna have to improve that. It's gonna be a bit more easy to switch between, but yeah, anyway, I take the default. And all right, you see it worked out, so that's great, right? And as I told you, the idea is that that's super handy for working locally and so on, but I think it's really handy if you don't want to hand over too much power to a CI. So if we go to the doc, in the guides, everything has been updated and so on. You will find, for example, the references here for I did not add changes, so that's a good one. I'm gonna add it afterwards. I forgot it. Funny. All right. It happens, but the doc is there. It's just not added. So if I go to deployment in the GitHub Actions section, so that's the same as before, but the create a GitHub action has been split into 3 different topics, and here we have the deploy frontend. So we'll take this one, and here we're gonna add like a is workflows plural or singular? Plural, huh? Okay. Workflows. And here I will add deploy. All right. So here on every push, we want to do a deploy. And let's redo the npm run build here, because this is required since here we have CI and deploy directly. And here I will add no apply, right? And actually no, let's do that. Let's say we want to deploy our front end from GitHub, but we don't want GitHub to be allowed to write directly, right? So first, we're gonna generate a new access key. So controllers have been renamed access key, by the way, because it was a bit, yeah, it was controller on the IC, controls the canister, and we had controller that are admin. Yeah, it was confusing. So as discussed, we rename that to access key, and we have that new role, which is submitter, and submitter is the one that can just propose things but cannot write. So I generate one, and here I will go to, I am already in the repo, so I have a secret, so I will edit it, and we're gonna use that key here. All right, 2 seconds, I need my authentication code. So, all right. So now what I'm gonna do is I will just put the default here, and we're gonna set up this deploy front end, and in the home page I just gonna add like a hello world, right? Otherwise we don't have a difference. So Fit test, huh? That's a nice commit message. Right. All right. So I'm not sure if this starts or not now. I should maybe commit it. All right. So actually, I think we're gonna work on main. It's gonna be faster. All right. Let's commit it, and this way we can have a look. Doesn't matter, it's still a test. All right. So if we have a look to the deploy frontend now that is running, maybe not. Right, so it pulls the image, which, by the way, that's a teeny things, but the image now used in the image now used here, you see, is called main, but actually the size has been reduced when you just deploy. That's why that was really fast. So here it's building. And I actually expect it to fail at some point, I think. Because we have, let's see. I'm too excited. All right, so uploaded. Now it changes its submit. And no error. All right. Ah, no, it finishes in error. Right. So where is the error? Why I don't see it? Ah, no. You see, so it was able to submit the proposal. So if I go, or proposal or changes, if I go to my doc of changes here, you see we have 6. So we have this one, 6 and there, but it failed at committed because we are using that that submitter, which doesn't have the right to apply, right? So what I'm gonna do is here I will reject it, and in our batch, because I don't want to have the error in the console, I'm just gonna do deploy no apply. Right, and this way, I mean, the end result will be the same. It's like you will build and you will make a proposal, but at least the job in the CI will not end in error. So, right. Right, so we're gonna do the same step again. Then you're gonna upload, and then it will just submit the change, not apply it. All right, and you see the job is green, and if I reload here, I have it. I can also list it here. see, and yeah, we're just gonna apply it to ensure we have it. All right, and we have it. Cool. So that's basically the new flow. So we have those new access keys, submitter, and then you can decide to batch everything and then apply, to skip the apply, confirm manually, reject, and so on and so on. And that's cool. And I did that also because I wanted to have the same experience for serverless function, because I mean, it's cool to build the Rust and TypeScript backend locally, but I kind of personally rather like to build that in the CI. On the other hand, I don't want to enforce anyone to have to use some Web 2 infrastructure they don't like. If people just want to use the CLI, it's totally fine. So that's why I integrated that for backend too. So let's have a look. Here in this project, I think I initialized, yeah, we have serverless function. They are in TypeScript, right? So what I'm gonna show you works in Rust too, right? Okay. Maybe to get started is in the Juno help command, there is still stop and start, but build and eject have been moved to function. And you can still call them by dev, but they have been moved to function because I thought it makes more sense to have like dev, which is generally speaking developing, and function, which is generally speaking for serverless function, right? And because it's a bit kind of verbose, you can use fn, huh? All right. Okay. Then, because it's TypeScript, maybe to get started, oh, sorry. You see, if I go for build here, it won't, oh, it works, you see, but it generates the TypeScript file, but it doesn't generate the WASM container that we need for upgrade, right? So I added a new parameter, and that becomes a bit complex, but let's have a look. So, yeah. Oh, should we? Yeah, yes, do it. Or do I have another project in Rust? No, let's do that. So, okay. Juno function build. So technically, I mostly integrated it so that you can. It's all integrated in the action, but just to show you locally. So I need a cargo pass. So that would be so what I need the source pass for Sputnik, which is the and long TypeScript, and I think we should be good like that. All right. So if you work locally and you have the emulator running, it should do everything automatically. Why doesn't it work? Okay, so let's do it more easily. I start the emulator. And I will build. All right, and when it builds, it should automatically output. You see, I made some tests. Let's do it again. So here we'll build my satellites. All right, and yeah, so all right, you see here now I have the satellite. So before that release, like if you build it with TypeScript or even with Rust, once you have that gzip file, at some point you wanted to upgrade it. So what we used to do is we used to do Juno upgrade and then do target satellites minus source, then or minus source, then you the path, blah blah blah. I found it was a bit verbose. So what you can do now, it's in function there is upgrade. So you can just go Juno function upgrade, and it will automatically look in that folder for the WASM. It will give you the hash. So if I go right 372. Here it's the same one, and here it tells you the target again. So if we go to Juno config, same, right? And then you just do yes, right? I think it's a bit more handy if you want to do that locally. All right, so super, and just gonna make a change in the file so that we have like something to test. All right, and here it's upgrading, so it directly upgrades the things, the WASM container in production. Right, so if we go now here, I go to my satellites and I refresh. Weird. All right. Maybe have missed. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that. Where is? All right. All right. Now let's say that I build. Rabbits die hard. Right, and actually I don't want to upgrade directly, a bit like the same as we did for with the deploy before, where we say no apply and kind of things. What we're gonna do is here we're gonna use Juno function publish. Okay, and you see here it's gonna do the same. So it's gonna upload that satellites WASM to the satellites, but it will not execute it. So we have the same things as before: change submitted, it, blah blah blah, hash. It's not the same hash because it's the hash of the change that also asserts that, for example, the HTTP headers are the headers that we want. So if I go to the things here, I will not have a change because it has been already automatically applied. So let's do another test here. I will build. Right, so I'm just gonna check that it's built here. And we're gonna do the same as we did for deploy. We're gonna do no apply. This way I get a change, right? All right, so here I'm gonna do, see, same as before. I'm gonna do Juno function publish, no apply. we find a bit like the same same option as before. Right. Okay, same one file size. And then if I go here, now I now have a type function upgrade that is pending. I can check the hash here, and then I can decline or reject, same as before, right? And here we're gonna apply, so you have all this information. And what it does, it doesn't upgrade. Basically, it takes the WASM and it put that in a subfolder of your web app on the satellite that act as a CDN. And then when that file is available on the web with a secret token, that way only those that have the token can access it, you can either ignore it or continue and upgrade. So here I will upgrade. And then you say, your satellite will blah, 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 blah. And actually, you see that part here is here. But it doesn't work because there is like that secret token that I told you about, right? And yeah, let's double check, but let's continue. That software issue here. What's happening? Ah, my Wi-Fi is really top. Doesn't matter. So the upgrade doesn't work, but they are here. So if you go to the satellites in function, you have a new tab called CDN. And you see here, you see all the changes. So this one is the one I made for 10 last week. This one is the first one that I have run here without doing minus no apply. And this one is the one that we did with minus no apply. So here I can go and here I have an issue that I'm gonna need to fix. Ah, nice. Alright, so we just discovered a bug, which is nice. So the issue is the following. I have added HTTP header that prevent the console for using it, which is a bit weird. So if we have a look here, maybe there. Where is the CSP? You see, console, and here. Ah, I know. It's on my side, I think. It's the. I need to open this one, I guess. We have ICP, because here you see we have ICP 0.io, but I don't have like an asterisk, which we probably gonna need to open. Right. So I'll do that afterwards. Funny that it fails now, but I didn't fail in Chrome. Anyway. Okay. Where was I? Yeah. Another thing interesting is now if we go to the storage here, I'm gonna disable that. Yeah. By default, I will not see those files. And now there is a new option which is called Show System Collection, where you can find those assets that are displayed, right? So as this one. And you can also go here and see your file. You see, like here, we would be able to delete that home page, right? And yeah, so it's kind of handy, I think, and it's really it's useful when you go here, because let's say that I don't, first maybe you want to save some memory. So if I don't want the one that I've uploaded last week, or maybe one of the two that I uploaded today, this one, here I can delete the file. And once it's deleted, if I go to my function here, you see I just got to write. Okay, and yeah, so it's really convenient, but it's also really convenient because we can start building in the CI. So let's say we want to build the stuff. So here I'm gonna go to the doc, and here we have publish. I'll take this one, and we want to build and publish, or just build. Yeah, let's do both. So let's call it publish, and because it's a demo, I don't want to wait, so we're gonna do that, or I just gonna do, oh no, it's fine. All right, so what do we have? We have, let's publish. This way I can start it because it takes a bit of time, and I can explain what's happening at the same time. So here we have now publish, and I just gonna, oh, it's running, great. So what does it do? Same checkout, setup node, node CAI, so it's the same as in deploy, but here you see first it will run function build. So it will run Juno function build, and it will recognize that it's TypeScript, it will recognize that it has to generate a WASM file and so on, it will do it. And then here it will do the publish. So it will do that step publish, and like before, because it's just a submitter, that submitter cannot start or upgrade the satellites. This should just do propose a change, right? So here, what did it do? Alright, no such file or directory. Yeah, life happens. So let me check if there is. Ah, okay, that's a good. It's good. So this didn't work out because there is a typo in the documentation, which is nice. Actually, in the Docker, in Juno Docker, there used to be just one image. In Juno action, there used to be just one GitHub action, but now there are two different. You can use main, which goes to main, and main is also slim, which means that if you just need to deploy, there is like a smaller action. That way that goes fast. But if you want to build serverless, you need all that cargo, whatever, Rust infrastructure to do that, which takes like 1 gig or something. So there is like a new full image. You see, like the full image is 600, but the slim is like really smaller. So if you want to build that, I will correct the typo after the call. This will fetch the full action, and yeah, it's kind of, I mean, it's a bit a trade-off, but the good thing is make like the deploy really faster, because the image used to be bigger and now it's really smaller, so that's nice. You see, like it take a bit of time to so I guess then we're gonna need, I mean, we can improve this, add some documentation about how to cache the action and this kind of things. And but just my idea at the moment is I don't want to enforce infrastructure, and I want people to be able to build all they like. And I think that GitHub is like kind of like a good trade-off. I don't have infrastructure. You can still have like a nice workflow. So yeah, what's important to me is that whatever infrastructure you use, you can decide if that infrastructure has access or not. And that's why here, if we have a look to the access key documentation, you see there is like a new table that show you, let me show you that, maybe it's a bit like, so we have 3 types of role: admin, write, and submit, administrator, editor, submitter, and they can all submit. Admin and write can commit, which means that they can apply a change to the web, like deploying your index.html or making the WASM available in the CDN, which means they can deploy immediately, but only the admin has the right to upgrade. So yeah, maybe you can have like 2 Juno token in your repo, and then you want to have a staging where you don't really care that much, and you just put upgrade. That way you continuously deploy your backend and your frontend there. But then with write, I guess it's the most common use case where you like, okay, I'm fine deploying my frontend, but I want to be a bit less permissive with the backend. And you have that option which is submit, where you like, oh no, I really don't want to give anyone the right to do anything. So where do we are? Okay, so you see here it outputted the file, and now it publish, and for the same reason as before, here the commit proposal failed because it expect to have like a write to be able, because we did not put -apply. So it's documented, and I just thought by default I will show, you see, I would rather like to show the simple one and then explain that you can use no apply. So here, no apply. Okay, and yeah, let's apply that things. Let's bypass the CSP, and here we're gonna do change list. Yes, was it 10? Yeah, 10, and that should be a C7, and B. Okay, so here we're gonna apply this change. Juno apply my ID 10 minus hash this, and what I'm gonna do after that is I will do the upgrade from here. So I will use Juno function upgrade minus help, and you see here in Juno fn upgrade there is minus CDN, and here it gives me all the files that are in the CDN, which is the same as this one, right? And we want the last changes here, right? Again, gives you hash and this kind of things, and you can upgrade. So you really have like the same functions on the CLI or in the UI. And all right, and maybe one last thing. Yeah, so one thing that at least for me are really handy is I have upgraded the CLI to make it compatible with the local development environment. So right here we have our local environment that works, right? So let's go in another browser, why not? You see here we have the local dev environment. I don't know if I already have like an anchor. And we can do the same stuff like here. So ooh. Does that work locally? Fantastic. All right, so if I take this satellite, I'm just gonna double check if that's my satellite ID for development here. Yes. So let's see. Let's say we want to clear the local environment. Here I can do local clear, and I can always add -- development. Yeah, so it doesn't work because I'm not a controller, so I need to become one. So we're gonna do a Juno. How do I do that? Does that work? Oh, I think I didn't thought about that now. So that's a good question. Oh yeah. So here I'm gonna go and no, local. I work locally, so I will add administrator. It's a oh, the console is not up to date here, but I'm just gonna show you how it works. So here I can do, for example, now let's say clear, and here I do minus development. Yeah, not my day. Can I do a deploy maybe? Ah, yeah, it's because I have too many accounts locally. All right, so this is my developer. So now I can finally do clear, and you see I can also do -- development. So that's gonna work, and you will do the deploy locally. It's a bit faster, right? So if I go here, so it has been updated in the Docker image, the new console. I just did not fetch it locally. That's why I'm still on the old UI. But here we see that it works, right? So maybe not. Yes, you see we have it. And yeah, I can also do all the fancy stuff I showed you today, like also with the -- no apply, and so on and so on. Right. I think that's everything that was packed in this version. Yeah, there is like one minor features is if you update your mission control, when the automatic monitoring does not work, it can send you up to once a day an email that is I'm mixing German in English today. It's really weird. No, anyway, it can send you an email to tell you when there was an error. And yeah, so we've seen that. We've seen the upgrade doc function, the thing. So there's a bit like breaking changes all over the place, but the upgrade should be smooth. And everything has to do with the tooling. So functionality wise your app should not be impacted. Alright, so that was. I will improve the doc with the 2 typo and missing changes. We'll also check out my CSP error, and yeah, ping me anytime if you have questions, and enjoy your week. Bye bye.